it's Kim Martin and welcome back to another video. Today is part 2 of my coffee video. So if you missed last week's video, we were talking mostly about the Breville Barista Express, why you should buy one, and how to dial it in, and some care tips and stuff. If you missed that video, I will link it here on the screen for you. So yeah, you should definitely watch that video before you watch this video. That gives you all the deets on this machine and how to get the perfect espresso shot. And so yeah, we are going to continue on into the fun part of this video. We're going to make some coffee drinks. We're going to talk about flavors. We're going to talk about steaming milk and all of the fun stuff that doesn't have to do with dialing in an espresso machine. So. So one thing I realized that I forgot to mention in my last video, we were talking about espresso and it completely slipped my mind to even tell you where I get my espresso. I like to get my espresso from Main Street Roasters. It's a local coffee shop and they started roasting their own beans, and their espresso blend is really good. It's really good. I've been using it ever since I got this machine. Like I said, the first bag that I put through this machine was a cheap off-brand, or maybe it was Starbucks, I think. Starbucks espresso from Meyer. I don't, like I said in my last video, I don't recommend doing that. Buy the expensive coffee. You have an expensive machine, obviously it's gonna need expensive espresso. That's a tongue twister, expensive espresso. But yeah, do your machine a favor, do yourself a favor. Get the good coffee beans, and the great thing about Main Street Roasters is you can actually order online. But yeah, they're located in Napanee, Indiana, and you can order through their website. And yeah, so go get yourself some good coffee beans if you are looking for an espresso blend. That is amazing. Okay, so first things first, today we are going to talk about syrups. So we're going to kind of talk about all of these and why my favorite is my favorite. So these are not the only flavors for coffees out there, but I have noticed that these are the most popular. Most coffee shops use one of these three. We're gonna start with Torani. I believe I have the salted caramel and the vanilla here. The reason I have these is because I didn't have time to order online when I ran out, so I was at Meyer and I just picked these up. That is the one amazing thing about Torani. You can get it at Meyer, Walmart. You can pick it up at your local grocery store. You don't have to pay to get it shipped to you. Usually, I don't know everyone's situation, but typically you can find it in stores. Personally, I don't care for the flavors. The salted caramel, I bought it. You can see I don't use it as much. It's not as amazing. It tastes cheap to me. Maybe it's not, but I'm not a professional on coffee syrups. If you use Torani, there's nothing wrong with that, but it is not my preference. So moving on, back here we have the Monin, and this is a raspberry flavor. I had bought it in a pinch because, again, I didn't have time to order. I needed it to, I think I was making raspberry sweet tea one time, and I needed some more of this. I didn't have the Da Vinci. So anyways, these, I'm not sure where all you can buy them. I think you can buy them in some stores. The raspberry specifically, I was very disappointed. I did not like it. I've had some of their other flavors. They're not amazing, in my opinion. If you use Monin, it's fine. It's a syrup. It does the job. Personally, it's not what I would go for. But I have this bottle. I'm almost tempted to just either give it away to someone that wants it or throw it out because I don't use it and it's just cluttering up my counter. So now we get to talk about Da Vinci, and that is my favorite. Da Vinci, when I worked at the coffee shop before I got married, Da Vinci is what we used. And I'm not saying it's my favorite just because that's what we used at the coffee shop that I worked at. I am saying it's the best because it genuinely is. The flavors are so much better. Look online, look up the Da Vinci syrups, and the bottles should look like this. I'll kind of hold this out here so we can do a zoom in, but the bottles will kind of look like this. My friend actually found these two for me at a local, I think an Amish store, which is incredible because I didn't actually have to pay shipping. I have the raspberry and white chocolate. I love these. This is another thing we need to talk about. This is the Da Vinci chocolate sauce, okay? If you're trying to make a real mocha, you need chocolate sauce, in my opinion. But, again, it's my opinion. You have yours, I have mine. I'm sharing mine with you. Hopefully this is helpful to someone, but I did order this online. I believe this is between $10 and $12, depending on where you order it. But guys, I ordered this right when I bought the Breville, and that was over like probably a year ago. I'm still not even halfway through this bottle. That is how much. It is so worth it. It is so worth your money. And I've actually found several other uses for this stuff besides making drinks. And another thing is you can make amazing hot cocoa. This is what you need. I also am a London Fog girl. For those of you that follow my Instagram, you know that. And so yeah, I just get the Bigelow Earl Grey. This is decaffeinated because caffeine affects me, and sometimes I want to have a London Fog in the evening, and so I have the decaf version. And then I have my frothing pitcher here because we're about to get started. Okay, so my husband wants a salted caramel latte. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a little bit, and I don't have pumps for these because Trani has these tiny little bottles. I'm just going to eyeball it. You kind of get to know what feels right. Also, I know how sweet my husband likes his coffee, and so I'm going to make it accordingly. What I have here is 2% milk. To be honest, especially if you're trying to do latte art or make a really good latte, whole milk is the best. But before we get started, a lot of people like to steam their milk with a food thermometer. You know exactly how hot it is every time, and if you're just learning how to steam milk, I think that's what you need to get. When I was learning how to steam milk, it was the biggest help to me. Now I kind of just eyeball it. I know how the side of the pitcher should feel. You just kind of get a feel for it. And so I don't use a thermometer anymore, but if you're just learning, I think it would be a wise investment. Before we get started here, I've heard a lot of people say they get really frustrated with their attempts at latte art. There's coffee on my counter. It is something that takes a lot of practice, and it takes a long time to learn, and don't get discouraged trying to learn. It took me a long time, and actually, fun fact, I worked at a coffee shop, but the coffee shop did not teach me how to do latte art. In fact, when I first started working, I was so excited because I was like, I finally get to learn how to do latte art. Like, isn't that the biggest thing about working at a coffee shop, latte art? I soon found out that no one at the coffee shop knew how to do latte art. And I was like mind blown. I was like, how is this a coffee shop and no one does latte art? Anyway, so the first year that I worked there, I was like, well, it's fine. I guess I'll just not learn how to do latte art. Anyway, so then I decided that I was not okay with that. And I set out to teach myself. And yes, I had the advantage of working in a coffee shop and steaming milk and pouring lattes all day long. So yeah, I had a lot of practice. And for you at home to be able to get that much practice in, it's gonna be expensive, it's gonna take a lot of time, you're gonna be drinking a lot of coffee. So yeah, don't get discouraged, it takes time, but if I can teach myself, you can teach yourself. It's not that hard. Once you nail down the technique, you're good to go. I've kind of lost my latte art touch, and a lot of times it doesn't work. Also, I get in a hurry to drink the coffee, so that might be the problem. I don't know. But anyways, so yeah. Anyways, let's make this latte. And like I said in my last video, this is a single boiler machine, which means I cannot steam milk and run an espresso shot at the same time. I have to do them separately. A lot of people say they like to steam their milk first and then run their espresso. I like to run my espresso and then let that sit, let the crema reach the top of the coffee. And by that time, I have my milk steamed and I'm ready to pour. So that's how I do it. I'm not saying that's the only way. You do what works for you. and we are ready to run this shot. So we're gonna hit the double shot, and here we go. And then we are going to start our steaming, and we have to run it for a couple seconds here to let that steam arm heat up, and there we go.
Okay, so rather than try and talk over the noise, I decided I would just do a voiceover for this part. So, something to remember when you're steaming milk is that depending on how far down the tip of your steam wand is, that's going to determine how frothy or foamy your milk turns out to be. The further down it is going to be just a steamed milk, but the closer to the top of your milk, the more it's going to create a foam. That's going to depend on whether you're making, a latte or a cappuccino, but in this case, I was just making a latte, so I was trying to get minimal foam, as you can see.
Alright, and this might be a huge fail, and it's probably going to be because I'm on camera, but that is how it goes.
And here is my pitiful on-camera latte art. Isn't that the way it always goes, though? You try to get a good video, and it turns out like this. But anyways, it's going to taste amazing.
Okay, so the next drink we are making is going to be my favorite, a London Fog. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a little bit of vanilla syrup. Just a little bit in there. And then we're going to get a bag of our Earl Grey. And we're going to set it in there. And you take your hot milk, and we're going to pour that over the tea bag. All right. And for the best results for London Fog, let the tea bag sit in your hot milk and let it steep for a minute or so. You don't have to do that. It makes the flavor so much better if you do. Okay, so there you have it. We made a latte and a London Fog. We didn't make an iced latte. It's very simple. It's just espresso. You're going to want to cool your shots, pour them over ice, add some flavor if you want, and then milk. It's very simple. But anyways, all right, I am trying to think of anything else that I forgot to add in this video. Like I said in my last video, if you want a video on how to clean and descale the Breville Barista Express, let me know. I can do one of those videos. I just thought I'm going to do these first because the cleaning is not very fun or exciting. So thought we'll do these videos first. If you have any coffee related questions, like I said, I'm not a pro, but I would love to help you out. If I can, if I have the answer to the question you're asking, I will definitely share with you. And if I don't, I will tell you that I do not know how to answer that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to head over and watch last week's video. All the deets on this machine. It's a fun video. Don't forget to watch that, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!